and looks like they're going to decide who wants to, well, I guess it's done by seed, but who will be going first.
Yeah, so finally getting started now with our second match of the day, TCM Gaming versus Gamers League. All the players are in. I do remember Vega from the first European qualifier. We've got Luxes, Frantic, and Didix on TCM Gaming. Vega, Leavezu, and Freaky Noise playing for Gamers League.
All right, Luxus on the attack now from Sweden. This is a team with 2 Swedish players and 1 player from the Netherlands, so we'll see what they can do against Gamers League. I'm not sure which countries Gamers League represents, but we'll find out because it will conveniently display for us on each of the... oh, wow, he was really convinced that there was someone sitting up there on the laser pad, but clearly not, and Luxus narrowly escaping with all of his armor intact.
All right, as he moves forward, Vega is going to be the first defender eliminated, actually. He does trade a rocket, but now Leavezu on top of the target managed to get rockets number 2 and 3. Gamers League taking a quick 1-0 lead. Good successful defensive round, kind of a vice versa from what we saw in the previous match.
And Leavezu is now on the attack, and it looks like that Gamers League didn't spam down as many rockets right down the middle as we've seen many other teams do. And Leavezu waiting, for those rockets to all clear up. He is a French player, and when in doubt, just assume that the player is French, is what I've learned in Shootmania. And oh, he gets rushed down, and Leavezu unfortunately defeated.
All right, 2 successful defensive rounds so far. I think we saw lots of successful attacking rounds. Obviously, in the last match, Eclipsia was having a lot of success, but so far these teams seem to be a little bit more evenly matched just as we're beginning. Obviously, there's a chance for one team to kind of surge ahead, but at the moment, both players seemed warm up. Both teams seem warmed up, ready to go. Frantic actually falling down. Usually that's a cue to the defenders that since he's not showing up anymore, he's probably going underground. Frantic does actually double back, though, and can perhaps get a jump on a defender.
Yeah, he hasn't seen anyone yet, though, although he did see 1 rocket. Looks like everyone's kind of spamming stuff blindly off to the right, but I haven't seen anyone yet. Where are they?
I think they're huddled. Yeah, at least one of them probably went over to the hole in the ground. That's the other exit from that tunnel system. One did hop up on the laser pad. He's already gone, but time is running out, so they've probably all fallen back to the point. They don't want to get surprised, and actually Vega and, actually just Vega, getting both of those defensive rockets, trying to finish them off. Trades right there, and 1 armor remaining, but 2 defenders still standing. Frantic's got a tough shot.
Ooh, he does manage to pick off a second defender, but Leavezu was waiting around the side, and unfortunately, we see another attacker go down, so a very defensive round. It looks like these teams are pretty evenly matched at the moment.
Yeah, that was a pretty in-cray chance of getting that successfully done. Vega with the purple heart. He has been injured in combat previously. We saw him eliminated in that last round, actually. So he's got a purple heart for that, but he's down to only 2 armor, and all 3 defenders are around him. This is the most aggressive defensive setup we've seen yet. Great shot on the move there, but no armor remaining as he hops into that last rocket from Didix.
Wow, so TCM so far in 2 defensive rounds has played very far forward each time, having flashes Dignitas almost, but it's worked out well for them, and they've been able to hold both times, even though they do lose a defender each go round. It's great that these sort of characteristics are surfacing for different teams. Dignitas rushing forward all the time on defense. It's kind of their signature thing now. We've got some of the certain players actually building up a little bit of a history and archive of some of their rounds to figure out their play styles and things like that. Didix actually just not having a great route there, couldn't actually get a shot off before being eliminated. Pretty much evaporated. I think all 3 of those shots landed within about 2 seconds of each other. Freaky Noise is up now. He is the final attacker for Gamers League before we start to go back around to the primary attackers once again. And he is going to wait for the spam rockets to actually finish up. Once again, though, TCM, they're posted up very far forward.
Okay, Freaky Noise going to try and figure out if he can isolate a defender. There is one in front and one to the left, though. That could actually be difficult. Ooh, I think he may have had an opportunity there, but that was a tough shot no matter what. Freaky Noise not taking the shot when the defender poked out there. This actually is a scary position. He's still getting trapped out here in this first area for so long. He's going to have to make his way over to that goal in the next 10 seconds.
And this is always very fun to watch when defenders do this, but sometimes they can really pay for it. As if you have someone who has a reasonable laser, they can usually isolate and pick off the defenders one by one.
Not going to happen this time.
Nope.
Freaky Noise gets taken out. That's 6 successful defending rounds in a row. For players or viewers wondering why there's a 45-second timer and then a 15-second timer, that first 45 seconds, the attacker actually cannot capture the goal. Even if he gets over there right now, stands on the goal for a full second and a half, nothing will happen because the goal is not open. It's not able to be captured. The idea here is that they want you to progress forward. They want to give the defense time to set up and be able to protect the point. So the first 45 seconds, you just can't do anything except eliminate players or hide or do whatever you want to do. But after the 45 seconds tick down, you'll see the timer actually turn red.
Wow.
Great. Man, that was a just incredibly fast defense there from Gamers League. But as time takes down, the timer will change red. It'll start blinking and making noise, and it'll only have 15 seconds where the goal is actually open. So you make your way up during the first 45 seconds, try and capture it for good in the last 15 seconds.
Now, because Gamers League was on defense first, and you do have to win by 2, even though it is first to 6, they will essentially be on map point if we keep trading defensive rounds each time they attack, which could give them a little bit of flexibility here. But already we see an armor point being taken off. No defenders have died. Down to just 1 armor now, and Lizu has his work cut out for him. Yep,
you mentioned that defending first could build an advantage for this team if they get into extra rounds, but with attackers alternating and things like that, it's really just the attack itself that is the most important thing. Any team getting an attack round even before extra rounds puts their team in a great position to try to win.
Okay, well, once again, another defensive round taken. Our primary attackers have fallen again, and we bring ourselves back around to the middle of the pack here as Frantic is going to try and start to break up this defensive stalemate for TCM.
Okay, Frantic moving forward. No one seems to have quite the hot laser like we saw from Lakayam and Yeepy in the previous match on Eclipsia. Even some of the get on my level guys were able to take attacking round successfully. TCM and Gamers League just not having the hot shot at the moment. Their rockets are pretty well placed though. And
yes, they are.
Lasers seem to be doing quite well for the defenders, just not for the attackers.
They've actually been uncannily accurate. I mean, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm saying though that the defenders have actually just performed really, really well. They've had good positions, whether it be the very defensive position we see Gamers League taken or the more aggressive position TCM takes. And they've just defended their points well. I mean, that was another good shot. It was good to know exactly where he was going to be at. So the defenders have really, this kind of reminds me of a baseball game that's like a 1-0 pitchers duel, and like true baseball fans are like, yeah, that's awesome, and everyone else is kind of like, I don't know.
Well,
I think it's really cool though.
Yeah, at the end of a pitchers duel, then it becomes exciting because then it's just extremely tense. If it's 0-0, for example, by the 9th inning, every single at bat. I mean, unless you just have really crummy batters, that's why people get bored. But here we go. I mean, these players, all these defenders, are doing such a great job. Let's just pull up a tab here. You can see who's actually been performing the best. Luxes with some great rockets, Vega and Leavezu with some amazing rockets as well on Gamers League.
Yeah, and Freaky Noise really hasn't had to be used yet. He's the one who's sitting back towards the point each time. Didix trying to take a very long shot, can't land it, and needs to make his way up a little more conventionally. So we are 5-5, and this is pretty important now because essentially any attack round that's taken is basically going to be the critical advantage that a team needs.
That's right. If TCM gets it successfully here, they will still have to defend one successfully, so that will give Gamers League one more opportunity to get an attacking round. But if Gamers League is the first, then they just straight up win, as you see they're already at that 6-5 advantage. An attacking round here would put them at 7-5 and move us into game 2. But Freaky Noise so far has been, I guess, not the most lacking defender. Like you said, he has been playing the point. He's just not really needed as much when the other defenders have such good rockets, but he hasn't found success attacking either. None of the players have, so again, that's not a slight. It's just, his chances are equally low as he gets rushed down again by TCM. TCM, I like their defensive position, and obviously it's working out for them.
Yeah, it is. So far, attackers don't know how to exploit that. I'm waiting for the first attacker actually to go through the caves and bypass it, but who knows if that's actually going to happen. Luxus, though, we're back around to the primary attacker, but I mentioned before that Gamers League doesn't spam out that many rockets at the very beginning, but one of the few that are sent out managed to connect.
That's right, and I think a player is playing the laser pad, and Leavezu just waiting patiently, manages to pick off an armor of Lux's. now moving forward against 3 defenders with just 1 armor, that's going to be a really difficult thing to accomplish.
Freaky Noise knows exactly where Luxus is at the moment, so the defenders are prepared. And anyway, you want to look at it, three defenders versus just 1 armor point for the attacker is a rough situation.
Yeah, Lux is trying to find Leavesu. There he does. Lux is moving forward against Viga, who's been planting just a lot of rockets, and there's another on the tally. Viga just doing a great job at that sort of middleman defensive point. Both Leavesu and Viga getting 10 rockets each. And who is that? Didix?
Leavesu. Oh, I'm sorry. That was, yeah, it was Luxus.
Oh, Luxus getting 12 defensive rockets for TCM. He's the one playing up in the front. There's 2 more for Luxus.
And he is actually going to go back around rather than decide to go through the caves there. So TCM is going to have a very good opportunity to actually post up and get ready for him. And where are they? Okay, a little bit farther back.
Yeah, they're still playing somewhat forward. Nobody's back by the point. Nobody's on that laser pad a little farther back. They do have vision of him, though, and just 1 rocket is all it takes. Lux has got all 3 of those defensive rockets again.
Wow. All right, so we're 7-7. We do have a max rounds of 20, or I should say max points of 20. So we still have 13 rounds on each side to go if they keep trading defensive rounds like this.
Yeah, I mean, the likelihood of that happening is very low unless just all of these players are so cold on their laser that they just can't hit anything. It is possible that we could hit that 20-round match, but think about that. That's 39 successful defensive rounds in a row. It's just extremely unlikely. Frantic has a chance now to try and buck the trend. If he does, they would just need to defend successfully to win the map. He has not seen any defenders yet. Both teams are playing just pretty cautiously, trying to ensure that no attackers get through.
Frantic, more throwing off a blind shot there just to keep defenders a little bit farther back while he kind of resets his position and moves back forward. There we go. That's finally, I think that's our first advantage we've had for an attacker so far. Oh, and
it's a big one.
2 down. Just one defender remaining, 3 armors. Freaky Noise, now's your time to shine.
Stranger things have happened, but picking off Freaky Noise, that actually puts TCM in a great position. All they have to do is defend successfully for an 8th time, and they can go into map 2 with a score of 1-0. Gamers League, everything rests on Viga to be able to attack in and tie things back up.
Viga! We'll see if he tries to do something different. No, he's just going to bounce up. He's running back into that strong, I know it's going to sound weird when I say this, but aggressive defensive position that TCM likes to take.
And actually that defender was pretty well exposed, but it looks like Viga just can't commit to trying to isolate one of these defenders when he doesn't know where the others are. Oh my goodness, Didix with a crazy shot. That one was just like a last second. I don't think Viga could have reacted to that. If one more spam rocket hits him, Didix with the last rocket there, winning the map for TCM Gaming. We're going to move into game number 2 shortly. Looks like